Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're going right into the idea of the Sabbath, looking at how it shows up in some key ancient religious texts. We've got excerpts here from Exodus, Deuteronomy, Ezekiel, and Ecclesiastes.
Yeah, some really foundational sources for this concept.
Exactly. And our goal really is just to unpack what this Sabbath idea actually meant, within these specific writings.
What's the core significance?
Right. So maybe let's start with this question for everyone listening. What does it even mean for a day to be, set apart? And why do these old texts keep emphasizing it?
Well, if you look straight at the fourth commandment, which appears in both Exodus 20 and Deuteronomy 5, this idea of setting apart is absolutely central.
Okay.
Exodus 20, verse 8, it says, "Remember the Sabbath day to set it apart." Deuteronomy 5.1 is similar, but uses guard the Sabbath day to set it apart.
Interesting. Remember versus guard.
Slight difference there.
A slight, but significant difference in nuance maybe. But both are really clear. 6 days you work, and then the seventh day is different. It's rest. And it's not just you resting, is it? I was struck by how inclusive these passages are.
Oh, absolutely. It lists, yourself, your son, your daughter, your male and female servants, your animals.
Even the stranger living among you. It's like a total community pause.
Exactly. A complete cessation from the regular work week for everyone.
So what about the reasons given? Because they aren't identical in Exodus and Deuteronomy, are they?
No, they're not. And that's fascinating. Exodus ties it back to creation. YAHUAH worked for 6 days and then rested on the seventh, so
you should too, kind of mirroring the divine pattern.
Precisely. But Deuteronomy, well, it links it to something else entirely. It says, to remember that you were slaves in Egypt, and YAHUAH brought you out.
So it's about liberation, remembering hardship and the relief from it.
Yeah, it adds this really strong social justice component, doesn't it? Because you were slaves and forced to work, now you must ensure everyone under your roof gets to rest. It's empathy turned into law.
That really adds depth. It's not just imitating God. It's also about remembering history and acting compassionately.
Two powerful reasons woven together around this one day.
Okay, so it's a day of rest, rooted in creation and liberation. But then the texts, especially Exodus 31 and Ezekiel 20, they talk about the Sabbath as a sign.
A sign.
What's that about? It says it's a sign between YAHUAH and the people, like forever. And the purpose is explicit, to know that I, YAHUAH, am setting you apart.
Yeah, this is crucial. It elevates the Sabbath beyond just rest. It becomes this active symbol, a marker of the unique relationship.
Like a badge of identity.
Sort of, yeah. Exodus even calls it an everlasting covenant. A covenant is, a serious binding agreement. The Sabbath is presented as this tangible, recurring evidence of that bond.
Okay.
And Ezekiel really doubles down on this. Chapter 20 says the Sabbaths were given specifically as a sign, so they would know that YAHUAH was the one making them holy, setting them apart.
So observing the Sabbath is intrinsically linked to recognizing who YAHUAH is and who they are in relation to him.
Exactly. It's about knowledge and identity, forged through this practice.
We also looked at an excerpt called Final Words, which kind of summarizes some key points on this.
Right, pulling together the implications.
It says, the Sabbath identifies the true Elohim. It identifies YAHUAH's people. It belongs to YAHUAH himself. He consecrated it.
And it distinguishes those who observe it. It sets them apart visually and behaviorally from surrounding cultures, presumably.
It also mentions, and this is pretty stark, the serious consequences for breaking it. The death penalty is stated in the source text.
Yes. The texts are unambiguous about its importance. That level of consequence underlines just how fundamental it was considered to be. It wasn't optional. It was part of this perpetual covenant.
So very serious, very central to identity and the divine relationship. But then we get to Ecclesiastes, chapter 12, verse 13.
The conclusion of the matter.
Right. It sort of zooms out, doesn't it? It says the main thing, the whole duty of man is to fear Elohim and guard all his commands, not just the Sabbath.
Exactly. It frames all the commands, including the Sabbath, within this broader context of reverence and obedience that applies, it says, to all mankind.
So how does that fit? We have the Sabbath as this very specific sign for specific people, and then this universal call.
Well, it suggests that while the Sabbath had that particular covenantal role for Israel, the underlying principles, reverence for the divine, obedience to commands, maybe even the rhythm of work and rest might have broader relevance or be part of a universal human condition as understood by the writer.
Okay, so it places the specific within a universal framework.
That's one way to read it, yeah. The specific sign points towards a general duty.
So wrapping this up, our dive into these texts.
Yeah.
It really shows The Sabbath isn't just, putting your feet up one day a week.
Definitely not.
It's this deeply layered concept. Divinely ordered rest, yes, but also tied to the memory of creation, the experience of liberation.
And functioning as this powerful, visible sign, a sign of relationship, of covenant, of identity. It marks who belongs to whom.
A marker distinguishing a people set apart.
Precisely. It's packed with meaning in these sources.
So maybe a final thought for listeners to chew on. Thinking about these ancient ideas, about intentionally setting apart time, what might it mean in your life today to consciously create space that feels, distinct, set apart? And what kind of sign could that intentional pause create for you or those around you?
That's a good question to ponder. What does setting apart look like now?